What's up, y'all? So this is the Facebook Live thing that I'm doing. I'm looking off to the side because I have a my author page open. This is on my phone. So let's see. So anyway, as I was saying, my name's Aleron Kong. I write the Land series, father of American LitRPG. And some people said that they wanted to talk to me. We'll see if anyone actually says anything. What else is going on? So I've been talking to you guys for a while that put a mask on to give yourself a fun look. Okay, that was actually just a pop-up, not a question. So people wrote in some questions that I'll answer, but also first I'll give you some updates. So Nick Podell did crush the redo of book 1. He's planning to do book 2 at the end of this month. But also there were just some things that needed to go through from Amazon. They recently put up, took the old book down. So hopefully this will be, going up soon. I'm gonna wait for Monday. They only really work Monday through Thursday, but that would be really good news. He's absolutely crushed it. Let's see. So Seth Bauer wrote in a couple questions. I'm getting these pop-ups from Facebook. We're still spreading the word that you're live. This may take a minute, so I'm probably just talking to absolutely no one right now. Oh, there was one person who no longer there. There's 2 people. What's up? Okay. If you guys have any questions, you can type them into the comments on my author page, and that will be totally fine. So there was a question from Seth Bauer. Richter has to complete 3 off. All right, I don't know if anything just happened. Okay. Let's see. Richter has to finish 3 levels of the catacombs. Will conquering the kobolds just be level 1 of 3? Yeah, that is definitely going. Ryan Lack, I love that you read my books, buddy. I'm gonna keep up the good work. So that's a spoiler. Let's see. Oh, Seth Bauer is just really looking for a lot of spoilers. No, that's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. No. Okay, so I can't answer any of his questions. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. There was another question from Seth Moore, though, and I think I already referenced that. I don't know if anyone heard, but the audiobook for 1 was crushed by Nick Podell. It was absolutely awesome. And yeah, exactly, Ryan. No spoilers. Who wants that? So I'm not just talking to my imaginary friend Ryan. He's typing in some stuff, so that's what I'm responding to. Stuart, I appreciate it. Cheers from New Zealand. I love everything, you guys. I've actually been to New Zealand. It was awesome. Much better than Australia. No, all right, forget about it. So let's see. So the audiobook, it was done a couple weeks ago, but Amazon had this really big review process. So they've just taken the old audiobook off, which I'm hoping is good news, and hopefully it will be up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. It'd be great. Let's see. What are some other stuff that people asked about? So book 7 is going really well. I have been typing every day. I took a couple weeks off to become a normal human being again because writing 6 books in 15 months was insane. But I plan to try to get book 7 done in the next month or so, hopefully before barbecue season starts, because then that's donezo. Yeah, everything's gonna slow down because I love it a barbecue and love it a margaritas. Oh, and my moderators are making quite fun of me right now. Huh. Okay, now that Alan Curly Cup Michael all of a sudden today. All right, anyway, let's see what else is going on. I have been doing these mean reviews that people are kind of liking, basically a sad face from some low reviews that people are into. So if you haven't, checked them out yet, you can find them on my YouTube channel. Let's see, what else are we talking about? Oh, in case you've missed me just sort of blah, blah, blahing about it, you guys, my fans, raised $1,200 for the water project, which just blew me away. It was part of a charity giveaway that I was doing in March. I'm going to do another one probably in the next month or 2. But basically, that means that because of your support, your donations, your just awesomeness, there are 40 people in the developing world that didn't have access to fresh water and now have access to fresh water, which is super awesome. Let's see what else is going on with me. I've been watching a lot of movies. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Life, definitely the best thing ever. That movie was awesome. Kong, awesome. Ghost in the Shell, not awesome. Very much not awesome. But it was a good time. Let's see. Are there any other questions that people are coming up with? I feel like I'm just speaking into the ether. I have never done this before. All right, other questions that people had. So, what is wrong? Okay. What is wrong with my 5th cover? Yeah, it doesn't exactly look like the other ones. It's because I am an exacting taskmaster, and my wonderful artist who has been working on it forever honestly is still just kind of cracking on it. But I will show you guys the one that he has just come up with. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Here we go. I'm going to turn this around for a second. So that's sort of what we're rocking with yet. So gonna still kind of developing it. I mean, you know, I'm hoping that you can get that it's supposed to be the quickening. The background may kind of wash it out, so change one or two things. Let's see. So Anthony Graves just wrote Power Rangers was awesome. You know, I want to see it. Anyone else gonna see Power Rangers? Because it looks like it's good. Oh, he says it's smexy, so that's a rave review. And let's see, Willem Lofton, I appreciate that you love the books, man. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Let's see, what else can I show you as I do this for the first time and hopefully don't bore you to tears. Let's see, you guys can get a wonderful view of what I look at every day as I'm writing. It looks a lot better since the leaves have come back. I got my dogwoods over there. That's it, and there's a little panda god that I pray to every day, and some more little pandas and stuff like that. I don't know if that was of any interest to anyone. Let's see. So Stuart Whelan is asking, do I read ebooks or real books? Like everyone else, like I love real books, obviously, but I made a stupid mistake about probably like 7 years ago because I was moving across the country and I was in this big possessions won't possess me kind of thing, and I donated all of my books to a local elementary school, which I kind of miss. It had some awesome old dragon lances and stuff. So I'm slowly rebuilding my physical library, but you can't deny that, you know, when you can just whip out a book on your iPhone all the time, that's super easy. So people could ask why my books are not in print more, just the first one, and the answer is laziness. Yeah, totally laziness. It takes forever to do the formatting. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I will soon. I'm also doing a big sort of like 3.0 release where like I'm changing a couple of the game dynamics, none of the plot lines or anything like that, but like simple things like, you know, I felt like enchanting was getting a little bit overpowered, and like, you know, exactly how like soul bonding for an object works and stuff like that. So there's going to be a very long sort of like, you know, when you get the new, you know, version of Civilization or whatever, like the change log. But I kind of wanted to get that set before I put everything else in print, but that'll be coming up. What kind of music do you, so Anthony is asking, what kind of music, if any, do you listen to when you write? I honestly have movies on in the background. I own about 900 movies. I am sick with the movie quotes, as you guys have probably seen from the references in my books. So I usually have something like that on, and you know, I mean, it'll vary. Like if I want to write like something like insanely emotional and powerful, I may put Les Mis on. If I just need some, you know, dick jokes, then I may watch a little bit of Archer or Rick and Morty or something like that. So, I mean, it kind of varies, like the content that I'm putting in, I mean, and the music that I listen to sometimes, you know, very much changes my mood and changes like what I'm putting onto the page. Writing is still a very organic process for me, despite the fact that I always kind of know I want to get from point A to point B, but like how I get there turns into like this as opposed to just a straight line. So, yeah, a little bit of everything. Let's see, what else can I answer for y'all? My foreign people have just been blowing up, but honestly, those are just some real deep cut kind of questions. Not even sure what I can answer for that. Let's see. Okay, my moderators are writing to me, and they agree that Power Rangers is awesome. So we'll have to take Anthony's word for that. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see, what else? So let's see, the other things that are going on in my writing world and my sort of LitRPG world is I am doing a monthly giveaway now. That's just for you fans. It's a $100 gift card to Amazon. You just need to enter by clicking on some stuff. Books. What is our favorite scene in the book so far? Huh, that's true. Are you asking me, Stuart, or are you asking them what the favorite scene is? Let's see. Okay, now there's a lot of questions coming in. Okay. Willis Lofton asks, what's up with the night job? Need more time writing, not out there stripping. You have to find love where I can, Willem. I mean, maybe it's easier for you, but I need that kind of affirmation. Let's see. I need book 2 on Audible. I have 3 credits saved for the next books. Save those credits. That's awesome. So the timeline again is that book 1, the new one for Nick Baldell, should hopefully be up this week. Nick Baldell is going to be doing book 2 at the end of this month, and he'll be doing 1 book per month all year. So that'll be awesome. All right. Will I be adding more maps? Absolutely. It took me a year to find someone that would make a map that I liked. I feel like it finally turned out well. So the plan now is that for that map, I'm going to, alter it and say like day blah, 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 and add it on. Now, I am so exacting that getting her to have the graphics whenever look the way I want it, that's probably going to be another battle. Like, she and I worked on this for like 2 months until I got to the point that I loved it. But yes, I will be. Stuart, okay, that was for me. So let me go back up to what the question was, Stuart. What is my favorite scene in the books? It definitely wasn't the one with the assassin. That's definitely not my favorite scene. It's so funny writing books because, like, there are times where I'm just sort of like, pounding the pavement, doing what I need to do. But there are other times where I'm remembering a moment, or I was exposed to something really powerful, or let's say like I just had like this weird dream that drew something out of me, and I will, sculpt several chapters just to get that done. And so like, when I reread it, which I almost never do, except when I'm just doing some editing, I even sort of surprise myself with some of the things that I put down because, you guys are reading it in like, 4 hours to like 2 days. But it's taking me months to write it. So I'll even go back and be like, man, this is some really good writing. Or I'll be like, whoa, no, this scene did not work. So as far as my favorite scene, I don't know. Like, I kind of just look at, all of it as just sort of a long timeline continuum. I did really like the fight with the Crystal Guardian, I would say. Simply because it's like allies and enemies and sort of how does that interplay? Do you have any sort of accountability to the people that you're putting under your control? Like, is it slavery? I feel like there were a lot of like undercurrents with just a topping of good action. So let's see. Benjamin Byers just sent me a heart back at you, buddy. And Dwayne Stephen Gibbs says, do you plan on adding more Chaos Seeds? So there are absolutely going to be more Chaos Seeds. I tried to reference it, and hopefully it's not a spoiler. I tried to reference it for the last book that they're kind of being drawn to each other. But keep in mind too, it's been 140 days and the planet is the size of Jupiter, and he was one of the first ones. The reason I had to add that timeline is people are like, what's going on? It's been 6 books. What's going on? Why hasn't that more happened yet? Which is why I added the timeline to let you know like how short it was. My sort of conception, my goal is not to just like have my books be a, sort of like neat and tidy package in a trilogy. That never really appealed to me, at least not for this project. It's more I wanted to create a universe that like people could like fall into over the years, and hopefully my writing speed will continue to say that. I definitely have before I put the first word down, I had maybe 8 or 9 story arcs that were just these huge expanding things that in my naivety I thought that I would get to 1 story arc every 2 to 3 books. I've gotten maybe 5% towards the first like huge whatever thing that I was going to do, simply because the books are developing so organically for me. So there will definitely be more Chaos Seeds. There will be a lot of chaos to go along with those seeds, and it's going to be kind of nutty. Let's see. Willem Laughlin says, do you have an outline for where you want stories to go, or is it kind of surprise? So I feel like I kind of answered that. When I wrote my first book, I literally had an idea that, okay, for book 1, I'm going to go from A to B. And I went like from A to like 8 point blah, blah, blah. Simply because telling a story took a lot more words than I thought. My concern when I first started writing was like, how am I going to fill up a whole book? Now my concern is like, oh my God, I'm writing so much to tell this story that I really kind of want to get across. I have my own fear sometimes, like, oh man, I hope I don't lose my readers that I love and appreciate you guys so much. But after a year of like learning a lot about like what writing means to me and who I am as a writer, I definitely am just trying to stay with my roots and tell the story that I would want to read, and hopefully there's people out there that it resonates with as well. But I never have like a specific like bullet point outline. It's more of like a free flowing stream of consciousness that I hope people think is awesome. Let's see. Richard Ryan asks, after this series, what do you think you'd like to explore? I've got a couple ideas of things that I want to get into, and honestly, I've sort of been feeling those pulling at me, but I also still feel a bigger pull to Richter and Scion. I absolutely love telling their story. So as far as, where it's going to go, I mean, science fiction has always been like a second love for me after fantasy. So I have like a idea that I'm really, really excited about. But at the same time, I just love, telling the story about the land. So we'll see. See, Stuart Whalen, do you have trouble balancing mechanics, explanation versus story or progression when writing? It's not really a difficulty in balancing it so much as just the same way like when they come out with video games, they look great in beta testing, but when you really, get out there and you have more people being exposed to it, it's not, if you've done your homework, it's not like there's some big glaring flaw, but later you can think, oh man, it would be so much more cool if X, Y, or Z happens. So that's kind of more, where I am, and that's why I did like a version 2.0 back when I was putting book 4 out, and why I plan to do a version 3.0 when I'm putting book 7 out. Again, there's no change in any of the plot arcs or anything like that, but just certain things that are like, oh, that'll be a little bit more cool. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's see. Benjamin Byers said, 2 questions. Will you be at DragonCon this year? I am throwing the 2nd annual LitRPG Gala, so I absolutely will be there. Now, whether I'm officially associated with DragonCon, I've been talking to the people that are in charge of it. It's really kind of cool. It's not like some big corporate conglomerate. It's like some people that have just been around DragonCon forever, and they're like, yeah, I know Stacy, yeah, I know whatever. So hopefully they think I am cool enough to join this year. I don't know, write some letters to your congressman or something. So I will be in Atlanta. I will be DragonCon adjacent. That Saturday we're doing a 3-hour thing with beer pong and wings and free prizes and that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of other LitRPG authors will show up this year, hopefully. So let's see. 2, have you ever written yourself into a corner, unable to write out a solution, making it so hard to start over? No, I've never done that. I think that you should think ahead a little bit before you start writing stuff. I also think that the biggest pitfall for LitRPG is anyone that's a true lover of LitRPG, like love of RPGs, loves grinding. They love finding the new treasure. They love getting the new thing. They love fighting the new boss. And I think that's what we just sort of love about life. We get bored if all we do is win all the time. So for me, I created a world for my people, and then I sort of just let them loose in it. That's why bad things happen to Richter sometimes. That's why, people die sometimes. It's because I have an idea about where I want to go, but I let the world sculpt that more than me just trying to like force the world. One of my least favorite things ever is when they're like, oh no, there's nothing left that can happen. Oh, but wait, I found this magical blah, 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 and it saved the world. That's never really going to be how I go. So that's, hopefully that answers that question. Any idea how many books you want in the series from Andrew Bruce? 50 books and a movie. That is the plan. I don't know if you guys ever saw Community, but I loved Abed, and I have 50 books goal just for life, a random number that I threw out. I would love to win a Hugo Award one day, which is the sort of the Emmy of sci-fi. Now, if all 50 books will be in this series, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I think I'll just keep writing forever. It's this like active creation that I feel like saves my soul to a certain extent. So as long as you keep reading them, I will keep making them available. If you don't, I'll probably just be this weird long-haired guy, just typing in a corner and with some cats or something like that. Let's see. Dwayne Stephen Gibbs says, another question, any timeline for when the loose threads will be pulled together, i.e. bugbears, eaters, Cobloid egg, and the coins? I definitely do. I promise there is a method to the madness. Like I said, my writing style is a mix of, I always have an idea about where I want to go from 2 points, but the characters themselves surprise me as I'm writing about them. I can almost like hear the voice of like another character speaking up when they're in the room or something else like that. So it kind of develops organically. I will tell you that book 7 is going to be something kind of special. For those of you who need some things tied together, there will definitely be some things tied together. Oh, wow, I actually caught up with the questions, it seems like. Okay. Let me take a little sip of water here. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Owen A. Wilson says, how long till the next book? Can't wait. I can't wait either. Sometimes I'm just honestly typing and I'm like, oh my God, why is this taking so long? Just get out of my brain and onto the page. Hold on, I have to try to plug this up because I'm going to die here. All right, so I may have to turn you guys upside down. One sec. All right, so immediately please tell me if it's actually, oh, actually I think I can do this. Let's see here. Cancel. Wait, are you guys still there? Somebody write something if you're still there. Anything? All right, there you go, still there. All right, trying to arrange this thing now. All right. All right. All right. Am I upside down to you guys, or am I still right side up? I'm reading this upside down. All right. Somebody just tell me if I'm upside down or not, please. Am I upside down? Am I? Am I upside down? Interest. That's not an answer. I am upside down. Okay, hold on. Let me try to fix this. 1 second. That works. Am I right side up? Yeah, I MacGyvered the hell out of that. All right. All right, let me go back up. Blah, blah, blah. I already answered that. Let's see. Going to be writing this series. So yeah, I plan on writing for a lifetime. Whether I'll be writing this series for a lifetime, I don't know. Slight spoiler. A little bit of questions about the immortality of the Chaos Seeds will be answered in this book, so it will kind of, you know, shed light on a couple things that have been questioned. Blah blah blah. All right, so all right. So Ryan Shelton said interest. Richard Ryan said upside down. Andrew Weichel, hope I'm saying that right. Don't do a movie; they're always worse than the books. Look at Aragon. Look at Khaleesi. I mean, you know, she's super hot, and Game of Thrones is awesome, so it's possible. Let's see. Dwayne Stephen Gibbs said upside down. Richard Ryan said upside down. Anthony Gray said upside down. Ryan Shelton said upside down. LOL. Jason Rubley said you are upside down. That's more illuminating. Thank you. Daryl Hartley said totally upside down. Richard Ryan said there you go. Great. Richard Lofton said good to go. And Jason Rubley said yes. Okay. And Cody Casperin said looking forward to it. All right, now, Daryl Hartley, what tools do you use to write, e.g. publishing tools? So when I first started writing, I had no idea that you could self-publish on Amazon. I was like, I'm just going to start writing. And honestly, I've heard, oh, this is good, and oh, that's good. I use Microsoft Word, dude. That's it. I back up everything, and I use Microsoft Word. There were a little bit of learning tools, just like little formatting things, but I don't think you have to rework the wheel, honestly. Richard Ryan says, get that movie, money, 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 money. Yeah, I mean, from your lips to God's ears. I'm all about that. Let's see. Owen A. Wilson, Khaleesi is also in 13 of the books. I do love Khaleesi. Let's see. Thomas John Burrows, is Richter going to run into other Chaos Seeds soon? So he's definitely going to run into other Chaos Seeds. I kind of did a spoiler hint in book 6 that they're sort of drawn to each other. You have to keep in mind, he is some weird, forest living dude, Richter is. So, and it's really hard for people to get to him through like the mists. So he definitely will see other Chaos Seeds. But that's why he hasn't seen it yet. And it's also only been 140 days. So let's see. Dwayne Stephen Gibbs says, you mentioned a movie. Do you plan on having oversight with the way that books end in the movies? I absolutely would. I would rather have my books never be in a movie, or just, probably lose an insane amount of money doing an indie movie myself, before I let what is the most important thing in my life, these books, be bastardized anyway. No insult to any actual bastards, because, that's all good. Love. Let's see. Terry Crews for Richter. Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. Awesome idea. I love seeing his pecs jump as much as anybody. I actually might go for some unknown kid. Terry Crews is also, could beat me up with his pinky, but he's also like 40-something, and Richter is in his 20s, so... Anthony Graves, I want a spoiler. Will Alma have dramatic growth spurt when the village levels? Well, when she was born, it did say that, it was tied to her. So it's definitely within the realm of possibility. Christopher Brian Parrott, read all 6 books in the last 2 weeks. I can't wait for more. How many will the series compromise? 50 books in a movie? Make it a t-shirt. And Owen A. Wilson, would you prefer a series or a movie? Honestly, I prefer a series, mostly just because I'm in love with the possibility of what Netflix can do. I do not love all of Netflix's series. I think some of them are great. And if sci-fi ever went back to its roots, it'd be awesome to do like a little mini-series of it kind of thing. I still think Children of Dune is one of the best things that was ever put out there. But... again, there are a lot of swings and misses. Aragon was mentioned. Yeah, it's not really kind of where I want to go. God, there's a couple of, like, the Shadowhunters thing. I hope she's not listening, because I actually enjoyed the books to a certain extent, but oh my God, just the teeny heartthrob stuff, I couldn't do it. So, we'll see. It's finding someone whose, like, vision could kind of encompass just the coolness and was willing to take chances. I would be all about that. Michael J. White, yeah, he's everywhere. Mad props, mad respect. I don't know if this, he always seems kind of serious, though. Like, he's got this face, I feel like Richter is a little bit more jokey. When can we see so Daryl Hartley is asking, when can we see an updated Miss Village map? So, honestly, again, it's just one of, number 28 on my, I got a little like floating across the screen there. When can we see an updated village map? It's just, another thing on my to-do list. It kind of just involves me. It's part of the whole, update books 1 through 6 to version 3.0 kind of thing. I've got a, change log that's 2 pages long, which is little nuances. So it involves me going through blah, blah, blah. And then when I see a point where I'm like, oh, this would be a cool point for a map, then I will then send her that stuff. But I've honestly just kind of been rocking and rolling on book 7 for the last week or so. Kyle, okay. Kyle Canapoulos. I hope I did not butcher that. Tell me if I did. What's your favorite lit RPG other than your series? Honestly, I gotta go old school, guys. Dragon's Wrath, man. I love Brent Roth. He's had some serious health issues. I hope that he's still okay. But I just remember reading, I remember having this idea that he and I would just keep, kind of pounding out books, back and forth, and I would be the Star Wars to his Star Trek. So I really hope that he's getting better. But I loved the kind of bare bones way that he's was kind of slowly introducing everything, and I thought that his storylines were great. So we'll see. All right, Ian Lancaster says, I'm curious to see how the kobold egg comes into play. It will come into play. I'm totally not giving you a spoiler. No. Let's see. When will the other books be released on audiobook? So, book 1, again, done. Amazon hopefully puts it up this week. Book 2, Nick is doing at the end of this month. And then a little hard. And then every month after that for, ad nauseum until we run out of books. that have already been made. It'll be coming out one a month, so that, pretty regular. Let's see. Ryan Shelton, what about an animated show for Netflix, however? Rick and Morty, cough, cough. Yeah, I mean, Rick and Morty is, it's okay, whatever. No, Rick and Morty is amazeballs. I'm sure you all saw it. Who gave me a little sad face? Anyway, all right. Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree about that too, but I mean, like with my books, like sometimes there is, just ridiculous, stupid dick jokes, and sometimes there is serious drama, and sometimes there is amazingly intense, action and violence. So I'm not even sure if like the Rick and Morty animated style would kind of be my speed, or if I would want to go more like Berserk style. Like I kind of like that kind of like harsh animation, and I especially think it could be funny if you mix it up with some like, good jokes or something like that. So Benjamin Byers, have you read The Way of the Shaman series? I have read up to book 4.5, and I will not. I know from my own group there is a lot of drama about book 5. So yeah. Any problems with pirating books? Constantly. People are constantly pirating my books, and I mean, I have never done anything like that before. Obviously. I kind of just make my peace with it, I feel like it's a blessing that I was able to make these books. I feel like it's a blessing that I can share them. I do appreciate it when people let me know there's like, hey, there's X site that's doing whatever, because then I can send this, DMCA thing, and hopefully they take it down. But I'm not an expert in this, and honestly, I mean, you can't really get pee out of a pool. Like, it's out there. I don't know why I just call my books pee. But yeah, it's a problem. It's irritating, Anthony Graves, Dragonwrath is vicious. Dragonwrath is vicious. I love it. And I remember I was talking to him like about almost a year and change ago now, and he'd already finished book 4. So I don't know. Hopefully he's okay, and hopefully he can get the next books out soon. Willem Lofton, are you making enough money being on Amazon? I'd like you to keep writing, not working some regular job. So it took me 10 years to get this regular job, and I climbed through hell and hell's, pea water. I don't know why I'm saying pea so much. So I am going to keep the regular job. I find it a blessing to be able to be a healer and help people out. And honestly, like, my job is somewhat conducive to writing. Like, I hopefully have time. I've kind of been half asleep all day because I work nights, as some of you know. But, I'm making it happen. I'll definitely keep making it happen. Let's see. Jeff Cahill, do you make money when I download Kindle Unlimited books? So, yeah. So, some people have asked, like, why my books are not all on KU now. And for those of you who maybe have just recently found me, all of my books up to through book 5, so 1 through 5, were on KU forever. The money is not an issue for me for KU. There's really 2 main issues. One, if you're on KU, you can only sell on Amazon. So readers that like only read on iTunes or only read on Barnes & Noble or whatever, they can't get access to my books if I only sell them on Amazon. Now I do that like sometimes. I just made book 1 on Amazon, on KU again, and you do it for 3 months at a time, so it'll just be exclusively there. But that's one issue. But the other issue is that a lot of authors are kind of running into problems. Some shifty people were doing things where they were getting like bots to read for them for KU, and so Amazon just like slapped down on that, which they should, but they like people that weren't doing it got caught up in it as well. I mean, it didn't happen to me, but I know authors who just will like randomly wake up, get an email, and say, yeah, all of your books are out on Amazon because we're thinking whatever, it'll be a 4-month review process, and good luck till then. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for like not really wanting to risk it, I guess, to a certain extent. Now again, that hasn't happened to me, and hopefully, God willing, it won't. But there are other sort of things that influence whether an author is going to be on KU. Definitely for me, anyway. But I know everyone loves free. I mean, I love free too. So, but book 1 is on there. Book 2 is on there, at least for the next 2-3 months. Let's see. Owen A. Wilson asks, any chance of Richter and Sokka hooking up one night? Would love to see the jokes made at Scion's expense. Okay, right. So I feel like I pretty much know which link you're clicking on when you go on some of those websites. Everybody loves moms. It's cool. As of right now, that is not necessarily in the works yet, but I will keep it in mind. All right. Willem Lofton says yes. I feel like you guys are clicking the same link. Let's see. Joseph Thibodeau literally just oh, here we go. Literally just finished Way of the Shaman book 5. I'm gonna have to put books down for a while and absorb it all. I second Owen's idea though. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna lie. I also clicked that link. So Way of the Shaman book 5. I get that there's some shenanigans. I haven't read it yet. Hopefully we'll see. The Plague Squad of the Hellbugs. No, totally different things. So the Eaters was something that I introduced in a very early thing, and some people have been asking where they are. That is something that I planned on as soon as I introduced them, so it's all kind of coming together. But the Plague Squad are representatives, are land-based representatives for the Dark Court. Basically, because they're in that little pocket reality. They're influence peddlers. So, the same way they talked about it was supposed to be for angels and demons in Constantine. So they have representatives, however, and it's just sort of like, how that all comes into play. So, there's a little scared face there. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. All right, so I'm caught up with the questions again. So I guess let me just see what else I can tell y'all. I still love LitRPG. It changed my life. Can we get a little? All right, here we go. Can we get a little bit more info on the Labyrinth? You are gonna have info on the Labyrinth falling out of your ears in book 7. You are gonna get sick of info on the Labyrinth. I promise you. The Labyrinth is something that I've been wanting to work on for a while. And it is going to be so much more dynamic than people even sort of imagined it. I mean, it's not all going to happen at once, but I promise you it is going to be a fascinating kind of thing that's going to develop in the land. And I'm actually, that's actually what I was writing right before you and I were talking today. So, yeah, high fives. High fives. High fives. Do I watch anime, and if so, what's your fave? So, I don't want anyone to yell at me that's an anime purist, but I only watch anime when it's been English dubbed over. My favorite so far? I mean, my biggest problem with anime is all the filler episodes, where it's like, you kind of just want some like cool plot development and some cool whatever, and then there's those ones where it's just they're just walking around for 5 days. So I'm gonna go old school on y'all and tell you Cowboy Bebop, because they crushed the game every single episode that ever happened. So yeah, that will be my favorite anime. Owen Wilson said #Labyrinth. Yeah, Labyrinth is awesome. Labyrinth was awesome when David Bowie was around. Labyrinth was awesome when Tom Cruise was dancing around in gold light armor in Legend. Labyrinth was just always awesome. So yeah, hells yeah it is. Yeah. What else is going on? So there's this LitRPG anthology that should be coming out sometime soon. Again, that's just sort of been one thing on my to-do list that I think would be really great for the community, but it's just me. What other LitRPG authors would you recommend? One Punch Man. I've never seen One Punch Man. Never seen it, and I know, but I just haven't seen it yet. What other LitRPG authors would I recommend? So I think Cosmo Yap is kind of unsung because he wrote one book a while ago, and his second book's going to be coming out soon. But that dude is awesome. He's just an awesome writer. In my opinion, he wrote what was my favorite, sci-fi based one so far. A lot of these other authors that I think are great, you guys are all reading them now. Michael Chatfield, awesome. Travis just came out with his second book. I thought it was a great addition. Ultra World is awesome. Again, we all know he kind of meandered at the end, but you can't deny that, the first several books were just gold. Everyone's yelling at Vasily right now. I feel like I've enjoyed the first several books of Way of the Shaman. I don't know if he, just like killed a bunch of puppies at the end of book 5, but I think I enjoyed the first ones. If I was going to say people to start out for LitRPG like they've never gotten into it before, I think that my books deserve an honorable mention. I think Dragon's Wrath is awesome. I think Ultra World is a great one to read. I think that The Game by Cosmo Yap is just totally rockin'. I think there's a lot of good LitRPG. Honestly, The downside for being a lit RPG author is that I don't get to read lit as much as I want. I don't get to play RPGs as much as I want because I'm always writing. But I think there's a lot of like amazing stories out there. From what I've been seeing and hearing, there are also some maybe not so much amazing stories out there anymore. But you know, I think it's awesome that we can even kind of make that distinction or pick and choose. When I got into lit RPG, there were like 5 dudes out there, and like 2 of them were just illegible. So I think it's great that there's so many people that are like, you know, growing this genre now. That's why I made the group. That's why I wanted to start getting people together. I think it's awesome this is happening. What gave you the idea for the Chaos Shard Bloodstone? So, you know, I mentioned it like in the first couple of pages of the first book that the land is an amalgam of every magic in creation. And what I've kind of introduced so far was the basic elements, you know, those 8. And then, you know, I introduced like the idea of the deeper magics, and I introduced the idea of the higher energies. It was always in my mindset that the deeper magic should be sort of what we are, you know, like, are we, you know, physical? Are we mental? Are we emotional? Are we this other sort of existential ideas? And I always loved the idea that, you know, blood was really a great and, I mean, just visceral expression of the physicality of what we are. So, I mean, from there, like the idea that there are these, you know, items of power that can personify or, you know, that can harness these sort of magics, I just feel like that's an inevitability for at least the world that I'm imagining. Now, there is some serious backstory to the creation of the Bloodstones that will be coming out at some point in time. But again, I promise there is a method to the madness. When will we find out what's happening to Sion and Daniel? Spelling, I'm guessing he means Daniela. So that is going to, I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some shenanigans that happen with that in book 7. So I hope you enjoy it. What is the name of the audiobook narrator you are now using by Benjamin Byers? It is Nick Podell, the man, Nick Podell. I remember, so the first version of my audiobook came out, and it was like totally fine. I was never really into audiobooks that much, but it never really felt like to me that it totally, you know, sort of captured everything that I was looking to sort of come across in the book. And so because of that, I was like, oh, let me just sort of look around, you know, see if there's anyone else. And somebody recommended Nick Podell, and I looked him up, and he's the same guy that had done The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I don't know if you guys have heard of Patrick Rothfuss or anything, but and I was like, oh yeah, well this guy will never respond, and he did. He was like, yeah, I've looked at your stuff. I think this is gonna be good. And I had to wait about 8 months for him to have an opening in his schedule, but I'm so happy that I mean, like, I was laughing, and I've like, I'm sick of my books. Obviously, I've read them and edited them or whatever, but I mean, he kind of made it feel new even for me. So, yeah, I'm super excited that I get to be working with him. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. All right, what's the next question? All right, Thomas John Burrows asks, how far will the Dragonblood change Richter? Total spoiler, dude. Nah, I'm not going there. Total spoiler. But it will change him. It will come into play. Whenever I introduce something like that, I do it because I have, one, if not more, multiple plot arcs that I think are going to be sort of integral to his evolution as a character and or are just awesome. I definitely reserve the right to do shit just because it's awesome. Stuff just because it's awesome. So that's what I'm doing. Patrick Rogers agrees with me. No spoilers. Awesome. I'm assuming that's what that LOL meant. I'm going to take it as tacit approval of everything that I'm saying and doing. God, I feel like I should have some like background music. I feel like I know who sent me that little angry face, Thomas John Burrows, but that's okay. Let's see what else. So, general things that are happening in the land. If anybody missed it, book 1 again, hopefully up soon. Another audiobook every month or so. Let's see. It is getting awesome down here in the South, so it will be Margarita and whatever season. I will have a special giveaway for my perfect margarita recipe at some point in time, and you guys helped me save some lives with the water project, which is great. All right, let me get back to these questions. I'm smiling down. All right, Ian Lancaster, any other KFGs going to be showing up? Definitely will be Chaos Seed showing up. Again, it's only been 140 days, and he lives like a mountain man in the middle of a forest, so blah, blah, blah. Thomas John Burrows says, nope, not me. So there's another hater out there. All right. Dennis Park says, I noticed that Scion's interest with the other characters differs from when we first met him because you leveled up his stats like charisma. Am I correct in that assumption? I love that you got that. I honestly spend so much time in my own head, like putting up all these little nuances, and I'm like, I'm sure no one ever catches this. But yes, for every, stat level up or whatever, I change in my mind how the characters are going to be and how they're going to be interacting with stuff. And I kind of just leave it up to my readers to catch that like that. I'm starting to, like in book 7, I kind of explicitly sort of outline some of that stuff a little bit. But yeah, so I mean, that is definitely a big part of what's been happening. All right, let's see. Kyle, have you ever read Off to Be the Wizard by Scott Meyer? Not LitRPG, but a great book. Honestly, so that book is so fun because I never heard of it before I started writing, but it's like so awesome that, it shows up on like people also blah, 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 blah. It's one of those ones that I've been wanting to read forever, but again, like I have so little time to actually read. But now that you reminded me, I'm going to put it at the very top of my list. I hear it's amazing. I also hear Bobaverse is awesome. And I haven't read that yet, but whatever. Anthony Graves, I was blaming it on his alignment change. So the alignment is also something that, I've just kind of been talking about peripherally, right? But that's a much deeper, like, sort of topic for me. And the alignment change is a reflection of your internal process more than it's a reflection of how people are interacting with you. So his increase of alignment, I mean, and I only really kind of talk about alignment in the first book about like, what is the nature of good and evil, because I kind of wanted it to be something that people can sort of get to on their own. But, because I mean, like you've got the sprites that are, positive alignment, but, they're like just murdering anyone that comes across their village. And then you've got these goblins that are sometimes negative alignment, except for the one that he met in Rosie's bar. And I think these are the kind of questions that, I like to broach. I have my own, specific ideas about that, but I personally hate when people try to shove their, ideology down my throat. So I'm happy that it's a thought-provoking kind of thing. I like that. When will we be seeing more of Randy's backstory? Book 7. Been writing that all day too. All right. Let's see. Owen A. Wilson, I hope Randy was a spy. I don't know what ever gave you that idea. Kyle says, yes, Bobaverse is awesome. Cool, I will check it out. Cody says, read Bobaverse. And then, Bobaverse says, read Bobaverse. I made that up. There's no Bobaverse on here. Okay. Let's see. Oh my God, we've been talking for like 45 minutes. I'm probably going to get out of here, go for a run in a little bit. Are there any other last minute questions? I'm overwhelmed. This is awesome. Thanks, guys. Anything else that I can answer for you guys before I, sail off into the sunset? Joseph Thibodeau says, is the chaos that Richter absorbed going to factor into this battle with the big bad Lich? I'm wondering if it added to his chaos shard nature, making the core of who he is greater, or if it's a flat-out energy source he can call on like a form of magic, where he needs more crystals to recharge. Okay, so those are obviously all spoilers, but I will tell you that every one of those questions is answered in Book 7. So I hope that was just insanely frustrating and horrible. Patrick Rogers, I started playing D&D back in 1975. Respect. I love how your books have given us a chance to share with you what was always very personal. So yeah, I did a little bit of D&D. My mom was a bit of a Bible thumper, and she's like, my son's not going to hell by playing D&D. So I didn't actually play D&D, but I do remember like I guess I'll call them 2-bit games that used to be up. I mean, I used to spend every Saturday and Sunday, very lonely child, in like, moldy old bookstores and whatever else like that. Fell in love with all of it, just like I think a lot of you guys did. So I'm happy that my books can kind of bring like a positive emotion. That's sort of, what the point is. So thanks. What is my favorite type of margarita? My type of margarita, because they're the best. Totally. Yeah. Dustin Pruitt says, thanks. You're welcome. And Thomas John Burrows says, ETA to Book 7. So hopefully mid-May. This one is, like I said, it's going to be something a little bit special, and it always develops organically for me. So I've also been taking time to be a human being. So yeah, I'm rocking and rolling. I mean, there'll be days where I don't write because I'm just constantly, you know, going through like a scenario in my mind, and there's days where I literally write 50 pages. So hopefully midway, and but I will keep you guys updated. You know, for my my patrons get pissed at me because they get a lot of like chapters like right before, because I don't share anything until it's really ready. Because I love this, they're like my babies. But hopefully mid-May. I'm thinking that's a realistic projected goal. Kyle says my mom did too. We played Star Wars RPG instead. Yeah, well, moms are tough, you know. So what are we gonna do? All right, you guys have been totally awesome. Audiobook hopefully coming this week. Another one every month. Awesome new shirts in the LitRPG store. Please leave me some reviews if you haven't yet. Even a short one you copy and paste would be absolutely awesome. And let's see. Oh, doing a $100 giveaway. You can find it on my author page. Just click and you're entered. It's super easy. And I will be doing another charity event probably in May. I'm looking at various different charities. If you have any ideas, please shout them out. And I think you guys are awesome. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you so much for, like, you know, kind of joining me like today and just in general in my world. It never occurred to me that people would actually read my book. I thought maybe my mom might one day. Probably not. So this is awesome. All right. You guys are great. I'm signing off. I am super hungry. I'm going to make some bratwursts. I'll talk to you later. Peace, love, and the perfect margarita.